Good afternoon. Welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. I am your host, Mike, and what's this? Something a little bit different. How's it going, everybody? We're back here streaming some Last Epoch. I'm gonna get to some actual Last Epoch here, but in case anyone hasn't heard yet, or you don't check out our forums or Discord or Reddit or Facebook or anywhere else that's a relatively modern social media platform, we have just released about an hour ago information on the new dungeon that's coming out. So this is the first look at our Soulfire Bastion dungeon. I will post a link in chat in case anyone hasn't seen it. But if anyone else is here that wants to talk about it, this is, I think, a great topic to talk about, and there's some questions in here that I'll be happy to answer throughout the stream today. It was a really interesting. We had a little tease of this on the first day of our extravaganza, our patch hype train extravaganza, and someone commented on the reworked visuals for Flame Ward, which they did not realize were actually part of the dungeon mechanic itself. And it does look pretty good with Flame Ward at the same time. So yeah, if you haven't seen this, check it out. I know there's some questions in here that I think people will want to have asked or answered, so to speak. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding it, I will be happy to talk about it. In the meantime, we're just gonna keep playing because I enjoy playing video games. Look at this, there's 3 uniques in a row there. I'll take it. First question of the day, Nair, welcome. Since we're getting a second version of the Gambler, is there any chance that the Gamblers will get some quality of life to their use, specifically the massive, painful delay between buying the item, it rolling, yes, and finally getting the item? Right now the Gambler is just generally awful to use because of this. There will be, so one of the things, honestly, I don't actually know the answer to this yet, but I know it's a topic where we are discussing. A lot of the stuff's still in development. Hello, Total Annihilation, welcome to the stream. And we've heard that feedback, don't worry. One of the big reasons why that feedback is so, rings so true for a lot of people is that they're trying to buy a lot of items back to back to back. I think you're going to be buying, in general, fewer items from the Soul Gambler than you would normally. So I don't think it's going to be as noticeable, but we're definitely aware of that feedback that we get fairly frequently, and I'll tell you this. At least I will talk to someone about it. Okay? How about that? Yeah, so if this is your first time in the stream, we do have, we always stream for charity. We're doing something a little special this month. We have a donation goal. Donation links in the description below. If you do donate any money, direct donations, bits, using them to play sound bites, subscribing to the channel, anything, all of that all goes towards relief effort for war relief. For kids, which is very important stuff, and we are tracking this, and any money that comes in from that goes directly to that, and we're matching it up to $10,000. So that's cool. Pretty sure it's 10,000. If it's not, I said the wrong number, that'd be bad. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The number's just so tiny over there, a couple pixels. Like this is how it looks to me. I can't read that. I don't have terrible vision, I swear. We do also have a couple new commands, channel commands. Kane's converting them for me. Kane, if you've got a sec, can you share some of those new channel commands? I don't know what they all are off the top of my head. But we are expanding our Nightbot repertoire. And yeah, if you have any questions for me, you'd like me to answer, just at Last Epoch Game the question somewhere, and I will be happy to answer it. And I see there is one there that I will take a look at. This patch is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. I stayed up a little bit last night, doing a little design stuff that I haven't done much this patch, which I'm pretty excited about some stuff we got out of that. One of the things we were talking about last night, and I was like, oh, he totally get this in, and we gotta wait till the patch after to do it, which is frustrating, but you know, it happens. The stars don't always align. So we do have a question here. I've noticed we can get Exalted Belt and Boots from the Soul Gambler. Does EHG have in mind how Jewelry is good for jewelry, and the new dungeon might be useful to focus on these particular item types? Yeah, we do, like, I'd say there's a long-term goal for gear acquisition distribution sources. It sounded like incredibly... I either said a lot or nothing there, but the point is what I'm saying is we do look at the other places that it's available to get gear that's similar, that's like competing with each other. So if like it's sort of if things are expected to be done, you're doing this and that, we'll kind of look at their drop tables and make them be complementary. And if it's a thing that's do this or that, we'll generally look at the drop tables and make them a little bit. And I use this from drop tables that aren't really drop tables, but just as a a quick term, we'll try and have things more similar as access sources to that. So say we had two in-game activities that were typically not done by the same players, or they were very different and sometimes polarizing. Maybe they would both have access to be a good way to get uniques. But say we had two systems, like maybe two dungeons, and one of them was a really good way to get weapon uniques, and another one might be a really good way to get armor uniques or something like that. So they'd be complementary. So we do take that sort of thing into consideration. It doesn't mean that there won't be any overlap. It's really clear on that. It's not like okay, well this one has swords, that one can't have swords. I think it'd be more along the lines of, okay, well this one has like swords, axes, maces, wands, and then the other one might have sword, axes, and then like daggers and bows. So there'd be like overlap but not complete overlap or something like that. That gives a general sense of how we often look at things like that. And we are doing this with looking ahead to launch. So most of the time when we're looking at like, okay, what can you get out of this place, or how's this going to balance, or how's this going to play together? At this point, because we are like all of the things we're doing them with launch in mind. We're like, okay, well, how is this going to work when we launch? We really want to try and avoid redoing things for launch. So sometimes that means there's a little gap somewhere for a little while, which happened with the first dungeon already. And sometimes it means that there's temporary stuff that goes in, so we might like, so we put like a whole bunch of stuff in one spot, and then later on we'll kind of split it out a bit. We do both those things too. I'm kind of not really paying attention to what I'm actually fighting here, I'm just swiping and talking. Could be using more than just one hand on this. Could actually be shouting and charging. Haha! Boom! Double shout! Get that frenzy! Get that berserk! Get that everything! Maybe not. Oh! I need that to pull. I've got one more skill point to get till that becomes a pull instead of a push. Ooh, game changer. Monkey Shrek! Hello, Last Epoch game. Mike, do you have plans to rework Summon Bear? So just before I answer that, I know I've said this like a bunch of times, but just in case this gets mistaken, 8.5 will not have any major reworks to skills. It will not have any new skills at all in it. 0.85 is pretty skill bare. But there's tons of stuff to do in it that's new. But yeah, skill content is light, to say the least. But Summon Bear is on the list. I also don't think Summon Bear will be in next patch either. It's possible, but I think if I'm gonna guess, I don't think Summon Bear will be in next patch. But I do think that Summon Bear is very high on my list of rework targets, personally. Yeah, in subsequent patches. Yeah. I figured you probably knew that. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. Yeah, I think it's really easy to look at a lot of these trees and go, I can't even find it for a second there. Like just looking at the density of this tree compared to something like Swipe, which is also incredibly old, but still is better. And like, look at Bear, like, look at all that stuff. 30 is the number of nodes we aim for. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This one's only 27. So I missed that one. You know, so it's even this is actually under where we aim for most abilities. Like this is what a proper ability tree looks like. Yeah, this is a little light, and it's definitely not the only one. Like you can tell this is light, and also when you see trees that have nodes like this where there's 0 of 7, 0 of 8. Like if you ever see if you're looking at our skill trees and you see nodes like that, you can kind of assume it's at least somewhat on the rework radar because it's been a long time. Because we haven't done any nodes over 5 points in probably 2 years. Anywhere. Well, okay, except for passives. But that's different. Oh, we've got another question here for... Oh, you're welcome, Lizard. Yeah, I did see a bunch of questions on the new Soulfire Bastion and the Soul Gambler. One question that we saw that was pretty evident that was going to come, that was already answered was, can they have legendary potential? And the answer is yes. And there might be some interesting stuff there that's unique to the situation. So got a question here. Hey there, just started playing the game yesterday and got to the end of time and about to go to the next part. I'm just trying to understand endgame. Like, what's the point and what can I expect? I've looked online but can't find satisfactory answer. First ARPG, really. Cool, well, welcome to the game. Happy to have you with us and happy to answer your questions. So what I'm doing right now is actually one of the endgame systems. Currently we have really 3 endgame systems right now. And they're being expanded on actively as we go, and some of them are a little lighter than others. So currently, in the end of time, on the main floor just up here, there's a red portal that you can take, and don't get used to it being there because it might not be there for long. That will take you to the arena. The arena's sticking around. Don't worry. The portal might just get broken or something. And you'll need keys to get into the arena, and the arena is an endless wave of just enemies just spawning at you until you just go until you die. And it's sort of like a test your metal, just try and survive as long as you can. That's what our ladder is based on. And then the second endgame system is the Monolith of Fate. This is I would say the primary endgame system. So there's different timelines here. Each one of these islands, these major islands with a waypoint and like a name and everything, is a timeline. And inside that timeline, you get a series of echoes that are little tiny nodes that are like little bite-sized mini levels. So this is an echo that I'm in right now, and they each have different. There's a few different categories of challenges or. I guess challenges, put mini quests or something. So right now I have to slay both patrolling profane fleshes. So this is it's a static level with procedurally generated enemies and other game elements and quests. So the objective, that's the word I was looking for. The objective here is to slay those 2 patrolling enemies that I can see on the map. So if I want, I can just rush towards them and go kill them. And when I do that, if I can do that relatively quickly, I will get complete the echo, I'll get a reward, and I'll get to enter a new echo that has new rewards. And then depending on how many, if you complete enough echoes, and there's a meta progression in the monolith that will eventually let you fight a boss that's specific to that monolith, that has specific rewards, unique rewards that are thematic to it. I'm just too slow and I'm going the wrong way. Alex Turner has tipped $25. Mike's still #1 PogChamp. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate it. Yeah, and just I guess a reminder in case anyone is wondering what the thing above my head is, all donations go directly to charity, and we will match up to 10,000. So really, that's a $50 donation. And then the third endgame system is Lone Star McFluffin has rated us with 18 people. Thank you very much, Lone Star McFluffin. Welcome everyone from that stream. I don't think I need to probably give you guys too much of a primer entering the channel here. I think most of you have probably been here before. We are the third endgame system is dungeons. Now we have one dungeon in the game currently, and the big thing that's coming out in our next patch on a week today is a new these things are patrolling around me, I'm just not paying attention. Is 2 new dungeons, and they come, every dungeon has unique mechanics that go with it, it has unique rewards that go with it, and it has a unique boss fight at the end of it. So there's each dungeon is kind of like a mini endgame system that's sort of self-contained. And they work as also a campaign skip as well. So there's on subsequent characters you can use the dungeons to speed up your campaign progress, and yeah. It was a bit of a rambly answer, but I hope that was good enough for you. All right, Deadless, I'm new. I don't think you are. We've also got a Rockstarum has subbed to 1. Thank you very much. Glad to have you with us. I saw a question. Llama 8 asks, Mike! McFluffin was making a Mike build and he was standing in everything and dying constantly. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. I might not like it, but I can you know, that's respectable. I'm not good at not standing in the fire. So when I actually play like serious builds that I'm like really trying hard, I'm not just talking on stream. 'Cause usually when I'm playing on stream, I play very casually. Because I'm paying more attention to the streaming than I am the playing. Sort of on autopilot a bit with the playing, but my real builds are always very defensive because I'm really bad at standing in the fire. All right, yeah, we were doing WoW Trial of the Grand Crusader. It's like wrathful in the second raid, and it was like it was do the hard mode version without ever wiping. So you have 50 attempts to do it and do it with 50 attempts remaining. And the final fight, there's 3 people that get chosen out of a 25-man raid to have like a really difficult. It's not actually that hard, but it's like you get singled out. And you have to do something very specific, and if you mess it up, everyone loses. And the time we did it, I was the 3rd person that got picked, and heart just beating out of my chest. It was stressful. Part of it is you have to stand in the fire for a really long time with a bubble on you, and then I was a warlock, so I just portaled out of it when it was about to run out. Anyways, let's go back to this game. You should run through Soulfire Battery now. I would, but I don't seem to have it on the. I know it's still 8.4. I don't see where 8.5 is. I don't know why it's not working. I think it'll probably be here next week. You know. Thanks so much for that explanation. Appreciate it. You're welcome. I thought it said exceptional explanation. I'm like, oh, I'm just getting ahead of myself. All right. Can the Void Warlock summon Void Avalanches? You know, I don't think that's a question I can answer, because it feels like a trap to me. If it existed, I don't think it would be able to. What is everybody? What is up, everybody? I'm reading real good these days. Get that berserk. That was a lot of those 20 stacks. It was a full 20 stacks of shock there. Another question, anyone know of any good beginner guides? Isn't too technical that I could watch and learn how the builds work and things work the way they do? There is a fantastic website that is sort of a build compendium, and you can pick like leveling builds or starter builds and things like that. Most of them come with videos that I would recommend you check out. And if someone wants to link them that, because I'm pretty sure most people here know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, people probably can't post links in here. Yep. Ooh. Don't do that because I will. It will automatically slap you down, probably. That buff does not look good on the bear. The big search engine. Is there an in-game way to change the color of the mouse so it's more easily seen? Don't want to get any third-party apps for it. We don't currently have a way to do that in-game. This is a request we do seem to get fairly frequently. I mean, not that frequently, but enough that I think it's worth looking at. I don't have a ETA on that, and it's definitely not in 8.5, unfortunately. But I do think that's a really good point, and I would love to see it too. It's funny the things that each of us has that are a little bit different about games we play and things like that. Like, I don't know what it is. I do not have a problem losing a mouse. This is it's an old meme, but it checks out. Dude. Yeah, so a new player that was asking. So I completed a monolith, a timeline, sorry, and then this is the Reign of Dragons timeline. So this is the it should snap up here. Oh, it doesn't. So this is this island that I'm on, and I'm trying to get to the next three. These are the last three. So once I have enough stability up here at the top, I get stability by completing echoes. And so you can see the ones that are completed are like grayed out with a little check mark, and the ones to be completed have like a little symbol saying what the reward is going to be. So it's different rewards, and I can pick different echoes based on what bonus enemies are going to get, and then what rewards I'm going to get, and then it also has a specific reward for that timeline and how much stability. So this one right here, if I do this one, I'm going to get 16 stability, and it says that up here. I'm going to get a bunch of rare axes. I'm going to get increased experience, increased item rarity, and enemies will have increased health. And you can see the existing modifiers that I have right here, and then the quest progress. So there are 3 quests. And a little bit of this is going to change pretty soon, actually. But there are 3 quests up here, and so the first one's always is open at, I think that's 150, and then 350, and then 550 stability. And once that stability is done, the final quest is the boss for that area. And it gets a little more complicated once you've, like this is like easy mode, and then there's like a hard mode, which has a bunch of optional bosses, and you can like scale this crazy. Let's get exalted items. I can't get there yet. We'll go through the experience one, because I want experience to level up faster. I'm still rocking full Last Bear set, which I know is awful, but I'm still doing it. Oh, actually, this is interesting. So some of the monolith echoes are arenas, and they're just like mini arenas. So this is a finite number of arena waves. I think it's 15 usually. Sometimes it's a little more, a little less. Do you think it should say how many it is? I think that's one of the things that we're missing right now. Kind of dumb question, but doing all these endgame activities, the point is to keep getting better gear and upgrading your character. Yeah, system seems really awesome, and I'm excited to get into it. Yeah, I mean, there's some endgame systems are designed primarily as strictly a challenge. So it's like, can you do it? Is this something that you're capable of overcoming? And quite often there's like a prestige reward for that. So the example of this is the arena. There's not a lot of rewards in the arena, actually. You don't get a lot of experience, you don't get a lot of gear, you don't get a lot of stuff to progress your character, but you do get prestige on the ladder. And also just like, can this build do this content type thing. TNY has gifted a sub to Dabrunsky125. Oh! Is that the Dabrunsky? If it is, welcome! I hope you're here. We are just talking about some stuff. Oh, I see in chat. There you are, right there. There you are, right there. Hello, welcome. I watched some of your Diablo 2 videos. If that's the same person, I don't. Sorry, I don't know what your actual Twitch username is. If it is you. I can't click on it right now. Well, I could, but I will die. I really enjoyed what you guys have done with this game so far. Keep it up. Thank you very much. It is you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Are you excited for 2.4? I know I am. I know I am. Diablo 2 is getting a patch. Content patch for the first time in a long time! It's gonna be great. Yeah, multiple Last Epoch, another big excitement thing. It's that I've actually been able to play though. So I guess I'm more excited about that. Because that's been in the works for way longer. News at 10. Mike excited about Diablo 2. Shock, right? Not a fanboy? You're a fanboy. No, I am. That's how I started working on Epoch. Was posting on the Diablo 2 subreddit. Oh, seeing something okay there. There's a lot of damage coming down from the sky right now. What's my poison res? It's fine. It's not overcapped much. Yeah, it gets punished pretty hard there. Oh, we got Rockstarum has used 1,000 bits. Thanks so much for all the help in answering these questions. Truly appreciated. And thank you for the warm welcome to the community. Happy to have you. Oh, we got I'm gonna die just doing this pull. Some knockback, yes! Yes, come to me. Wonderful. That's great. So now our Warcry, which is used by Roar when I'm in bear form, now instead of pushing enemies back, it pulls enemies in, which I should have done right from the start. I don't know why I didn't. Getting pummeled there. It's okay. I can do this. They're already right in front of me though, so. After playing it, so I love Berserk as a mechanic. Berserk's a temporary buff from Warcry that you have to keep attacking to keep the buff going. And I really love the mechanic, and I do think it's just a tiny bit too short at base. Because even with all of the duration extending effects, it still is really tough to keep. Daedalus, have there been any thoughts into possibly making more skill affixes that are not level affixes that augment skills? Yes, I understand what you're saying. The main reasoning for this is that design-wise, a lot of builds are able to free up skill slots on the bar thanks to skill interactions, shift plus shuriken combo, and more skill slots are often requested that could be a novel way of augmenting the non-spec skills to a limited capacity. Yeah, yes, we had this conversation 2 days ago. I was talking to someone about this, and that was something that was brought up as an option. I think it's a great idea. No, no guarantees yet, because from talking about it to making it happen takes a while sometimes. But I think that would be a good idea, honestly. And I think that there's probably specific ones that we can target, and that are more often than not used in that capacity. And I think this could be really interesting things, and I think that they can, in some cases, actually be this is a ruse to distract Mike to die. It won't work. Might work. I think that that it can actually be used pretty good, where you can actually just give nodes that already exist over to those items. If that makes any sense. Oh! I feel like I just went off the edge for a bit there. Okay, experiment time. Yeah, okay, you just clip over the edge of it, but it's fine. It doesn't let you go. That's what I expected to happen. I mean, the edge of a cliff is really no different than a wall. Oh, for the most part. Will there be stream spoilers today? At the very last moment. Trisoki in with the clutch spoiler delivery that he gave me. Because I was gonna say, so there was a question asked on the forums right before stream if the Soul Gambler can have legendary potential on the uniques that you roll from it. The answer is yes, you can, which is great news. But that was like gonna be my spoiler for the stream because I didn't really have anything. But Trisoki came in clutch and he got me one more thing to share. So I do have something for you. Oh yeah, I can just go, can't I? Come on. Yeah, Mike, Shaman Love when? Not this patch, I can tell you that much. There's definitely room for Shaman improvement, both in buffing and reworking the functionality of a couple skills that they have, and also they're missing a skill still, and that passive tree needs a little love too. I think there's definitely room for Shaman improvement, and I think it's Beastmaster and Druid are two of my favorite classes, mastery classes, and I think that how close Shaman is to those two is really accentuating the problems that it does have, because I don't think it's actually that terrible, and I think that there are other things that are more in need of a little love, but and especially since we have done a lot with Beastmaster and Druid recently, very recently, I think that we'll take a little bit of time to work on a few other things first, but that's not to say I won't get anything. I mean, this is actually a kind of a cool amulet for a shaman. In some cases. Shamanic staff? Are we just doing a shaman now? Is that what's happening? I feel like I'm actually... Oh no, I have else. Oh, it's my multiplayer character I hadn't found any idols for a long time, so I have like empty idol slots on my current multiplayer character. It's bad. It's bad. Ooh, some exalted daggers. Why not, right? Oh yeah. Eh? With the dungeons, will you implement a dungeon finder like they have with MMOs, for example, WoW type dungeon finder? Unlikely. I think we're more interested in having players find groups a little bit more organically. Partially is like the dungeons, it's not necessary to have a group, you can do them solo, which I think is a big difference between WoW and us, because I mean, for the most part, WoW dungeons are not soloable. I know there's exceptions to that. But they're not designed to be soloed at all. We've got all of our like pull-in effects, our Fury Leap, or our whatever it's called, Ravage, Maul. The old one was Ravage. Pulls things in now. And our Warcry pulls their shout, roar, roar. A lot of these skills have different names in the back end too, so it's like this skill is called Werebear Warcry, I think. All right, Mike voice pack for LUN. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but we've talked jokingly about things like that, not specifically me necessarily, but you know, I think there's some cool stuff to do there that would be nice, nice fun thing maybe post launch, you know. Actually serious about this. All right. Yeah, Shaman. I still love Tornado. Rule of Simoon is fun, but Tempest Strike though, yeah. Boardman weeps. I know. I'm sorry, Boardman. We did you dirty a couple times in a row there with that, and I apologize. I want to make it up to you. I really do. It wasn't intentional. Really wasn't. If anyone doesn't know, I'm referring to set items not being fantastic, and Boardman designed his own set. Which set items are still very much on the discussion and design table. Like, this is not, they're not finished. It's not set in stone. I'm confident he'll forgive us. I doubt he's upset about it, really. But I don't know. Alright, will the Stormcrow's portrait sooner or later have a life bar next to it like the other animals? So the Stormcrow's interesting. So usually whenever we have a summon that has multiple pets that come out all at once, if there's 3 or more of the same summon, we combine their health bar, we combine their portrait cards into one, and it drops the health bar. Now, because Stormcrows are supposed to summon up to your limit always, I'm pretty sure they just automatically always combine their portraits, even if you actually only have one, because you can just get one. There's a few different ways to do it, but yeah, that would be a bug that should be fixed. If it's less than, if it's 1 or 2 of them, you should get individual portraits and have the health bar. Yeah, Heavy, I think that's a really good point. So Heavy said, well, the Dungeon Finder system can be convenient. I think they foster a non-social party environment where party members are just some random dudes that you get rid of after the dungeon. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. That's not to say it's impossible to do well, and that there are a lot of really good things about it, especially if it was mandatory. And maybe there's people that don't like the social aspect of things. So for those people, I'm sure a Dungeon Finder is a great thing. I don't think something like that is on the on the list just yet. If there's enough desire for it and we get people from the community asking for it, it's, I'm sure, something that could go in a conversation at least. But I have no friends, lol. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that there won't be any ways to get people together to do party up and do things. Just an automated Dungeon Finder system probably won't be how it's done. And anyone's wondering, an automated Dungeon Finder system is something along the lines of where you have a window that you open up, and like you just like pick like, oh, I want to go to the Soulfire Bastion, and it would just like populate a list of other people that are looking for the same thing. You should like join group, or you would just be like, queue up for this, and it would just like automatically put you in the system, and you would just get automatically sent to the dungeon when it's ready. Like, it would pop and just be like, yes, sure you want to go still? Yes. Everyone agrees, and you just get taken there. And I think I think things like that are more appropriate when there are a lot of dungeons to do in a really big space, where sometimes it might be really difficult to get to those places quickly. And maybe there's like 30 dungeons, and it takes 20 minutes to get to the one you want to get to, and you know, like situations like that, I think it's a lot more appropriate. Just rolling through my rage. Something's going. I gotta. Was that Chad? That was Chad. No, it wasn't. Oh, we got. I totally missed it 12 minutes ago. Mike Fanboy XOXO has tipped $100. Go, Mike, go. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. I don't know how I missed that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And, if that name is old or is new, aw. Oh. It was a distraction tactic, wasn't it? A delayed distraction tactic. Well timed. You almost got me, but not this time. All right, good question from Dev Raiden. Let's keep this rolling. Hi, any plans for fixing the healing totems that spawn thorn totems in a ring placement? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw something about this being fixed. They can't spawn in tight spots. They still use all rage, as they didn't spawn. Oh, this is different actually. I don't know. It's possible. I think I should switch to like Kermit's Cage or something. Oh my gosh! See, when it's a lot of things, I see the screen just go like whoosh. Big list. Thank you very much. Heavy Gaming TV has gifted 10 subs to the channel. Much appreciated. Congrats to anyone who got one of those. There's a few names in there I recognize. Rhymer, McMagic, Coldfire, yeah. Vision. Lots of names in there I recognize. Very cool. Glad to have you all with us here. Let's make it to 1K today. Heavy has cheered 1,500 bits. Thank you very much, Heavy. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, the cheer bits and the subs and the soundbite redemptions. Rockstardom has also gifted 1,000 bits. We're going. Let's go. Where's my whistle? I always forget to get the whistle before I start a stream. I've got a train whistle. It's pretty cool. Where's I going with this? Oh yeah, all those other things apart from direct donations don't automatically update to this tracker. But in between, right before I start the stream every week, what I'm doing is I'm going to be compiling anything that was done while we weren't on the air, and all of the subs and things like that don't get tracked automatically, and we're just adding them in manually. So like right before the stream, I added in those things that were missed. Moxjet has used 1,000 bits as well to cheer. Thanks very much. There's a celebrity here. Ooh. That's the game director, guys. Get him. All right. Another question here from the Buck is Nigh. I don't think the hot played. No. I didn't hear it anyways. Oh, I saw the notification pop up though. That one's my favorite. That's the one that like I hear it and I'm just like what's the best way to report bugs? I'm sure it's been reported, but I only use on Stormcrow and it does not show the life bar. Yeah, okay, bug reporting. We get a lot of bugs reported from all over the place, but the absolute best way to report bugs, where you are most likely to get the issue fixed, is by going to the forums and submitting a bug report there. There is a wonderful post that gives you details on how to submit better bug reports to have an even higher chance of things getting worked on. Couple little tips: if you have a video of it happening, details on how to reproduce it, any stuff like that, you can even upload like a character save file, probably somewhere, somehow, or just like details on what your character was, or like a build planner link that shows the character there. Things like that are all very helpful things for getting us to be able to fix things quicker. But yeah, people take the bug report, and you can also search the bug report forums. It's really good as well, so you can, like, if someone else has had the issue, maybe they didn't do all those things, but you're like, oh, I have this too, I got more info, and you can add to it. That can be really helpful too. And this just, it gives, the best part about it is it gives us a way to track bugs, and and there's even more, and it gives us a way to track bugs and communicate with people on specific bugs if we were like, oh, need more info or something like that. Thank you very much. Lux Eterra has gifted 5 subs to the channel. Congrats to anyone who got one of those. Justin got one. Nice. Level 5 hype train, 113% complete. Choo choo. Wow. Wow. I don't. It does stuff. I'm such a Twitch noob. Such a little nubbly. I don't know why I did this one. I don't need daggers for anything. There's probably some really good ones in here too. There's some not bad ones in there. Oh well. I just like, don't have room for anything. Oh, look at that. We're going to keep these in case we want to go into the sanctum later. Oh, I didn't take the chest. Fair bit in that one. Not bad. Not bad. DPS meter future maybe. It's possible. I'd say very unlikely. Random X has cheered 100 bits. Thank you very much. I don't know why I like that name. You've been here for quite a while. And I keep seeing it pop up and I like it. And Non has gifted it $25. Thank you very much. Or if that's your name, or if that's what it says when someone doesn't put a name. Either way, I appreciate it. DPS meter future maybe. It's possible but unlikely. I think having a DPS meter in like right now when I'm doing something like this, almost zero. if we had like enough people who were just like overwhelming majority like begging for it, and like there's really good reasons why, and all these sorts of things, we'd consider it at that point. DPS meters are really good for experimenting with a build, and for being able to have a quantifiable, this choice was better specifically because I can see the numbers that say it's better. And that's really useful for like designing a build, and for like getting all these, because there's so many options, and like picking out what you actually want to use. It's great for that. The big downside to it is that, and the big downside is the big upside as well, which is you have proof where you can say, there we go, where you can say, like, this build is better than that build specifically because its DPS number gets higher. And that can have a homogenization effect on builds that exist. So we like giving people tools to help them make good decisions, which comes from a lot of different sources. One of those is just like, how high in the arena can you get? Like that is a quantifiable thing where you can say like, this got higher, but it's less about just which DPS number is higher, and that's as more of a measure of the build as a whole, and also quite a bit about player skill too. So it's not quite so straightforward of a metric. And then we also do have DPS tooltips, but they aren't perfectly accurate. So we do try and give people ways to get good information as to if they're making good decisions or not. And I think the best way for that is just feedback in combat. Like, okay, I changed this about my build, and suddenly it's harder, or suddenly it's easier. Like, is that a good decision or a bad decision? You know. That's what we want the majority of it to be. Now, I know we've gotten a lot of people that have requested more. People will be like switching out gear to like test things. Like, oh, is this piece better? Is that piece better? And a lot of times you're doing that on the training dummy. And the training dummy does not give you a lot of information. It has a lot of problems. There might be a small step in the right direction that I'm just remembering we've been working on. But I know a lot of people want more tools to be able to work on builds that are not just going into the content directly. And we hear you on that one for sure. And we're still working out the best way to do that. I don't think a DPS meter all the time is the right way to do that. I could see, and this is not included in this patch, let's be really clear. What I'm about to say is not something we've done. But I can see the argument for having a DPS meter in a training dummy situation. And right now, in some cases, people use like time to kill on the training dummy, so there kind of is that already, because you can say like, well, it's regenerating health at approximately this rate, and you know, there's all sorts of stuff there. Or you can work out a rough DPS. Yeah, so like, if we were gonna be like debating this, and I was gonna try and convince people to add it, that's where I would focus the debate personally. That makes any sense. We have not added a DPS meter. Alright. Hello, Last Epoch has zones like echoes and dungeons. Do you have any other ideas for endgame venues? Those are the primary two for sure. The arena has some expansion happening to it. And I think there's room for some cool stuff in the arena too. We do have some other styles of endgame systems that we'd like to incorporate. Whether or not those make it into 1.0 or are in subsequent like cycles after launch, there's a lot of time for us to add content down the road. This is something that we are planning to maintain for a very long time. Keep adding new content to it, and I think adding too much right off the bat could be problematic. So for 1.0, maybe. Post 1.0, oh yeah. With the Soul Gambler, will it be possible to get LP on your item, on the items you get? Yes. And there might. We're not 100% finished the Soul Gambler yet. There's some mechanics that we're still tweaking, numbers we're working out, mechanics we're adjusting, you know, things like that. So it's not 100% finished. So I can't talk about all the details because they're not done yet. Things could change between now and launch of the patch. But we are entertaining some unique mechanics regarding that. So we'll see. See what that means. I know there's at least one if we did it, I know there's at least one person that'd be really happy. It's not something very game-changing, but yeah. Alright. Are there any more levels that have similar assets to the Ruined Temple quest? Absolutely fell in love with that area. Yeah, so the Monolith of Fate has most of the echoes in the Monolith of Fate are adapted levels from the campaign. So they are so there's echo levels in the Monolith of Fate that are modeled. There's probably actually that exact zone. But it's just been like tweaked a little bit to work better for the monolith, and so each one of the timelines. So there's, I don't know, whatever there is, 100 echo islands, 100 echo map styles that can happen, maybe 150. I don't know what the number is. There's quite a few, and then each timeline. So these islands here, each timeline has a set of echoes that it can pull from. So there's different themings in each one. So you'll find certain echoes exist here that don't exist here, and then there is overlap in some as well. So none of the lists are fully exclusive, but they're all different in some way. And it's a time travel game, so you can go back and forth to places sometimes for different reasons. The hype train has left the station. Get out your choo-choo whistle now. I don't think there's anyone else in the house right now. So I don't know. I don't think I can get anyone to get it for me. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time, I promise. I'll come here. One sec. Okay. Get whistle for next stream. Alright, got a little note for myself. I'll leave it here. I'll leave it right under my main monitor. I'll have it next time. Alright, where are we going now? Not even halfway. Oof. Oof. I do want more experience, so I just want to get those levels going. I should really do something to bump up my damage. Shocking Revelations by Mike. Do more damage. Get things done faster. Alright, is the new patch coming with some performance optimizations? Did you fix the mobs that are dropping the FPS of the game, or at least some of them? We are doing... I don't have a specific, like, there's this much of a performance gain in this zone or anything like that, or this mob has gotten this much better. Off the top of my head. There are definitely performance improvements that have happened since last patch. Yes, that has happened. We do have, I don't have numbers, so I don't want to like say anything about this, but I don't want to like overpromise, underdeliver at some point. But we're definitely making progress in this category. It's very exciting. Shout out to that person who's doing awesome stuff right now that I don't know if I should say your name on stream, but I really appreciate you. I don't know how else to say this. You know who you are. At least I hope you do. Okay, yeah, Jed answered this actually. Yes. Okay, so we are targeting a lot of these stuff that I'm referencing now is more targeted at the next patch, but I'm excited. We've got a lot of new tools for detecting and resolving specific things that are causing FPS drops, and we've spent a lot of time working on those systems recently. So our tools for improving FPS have gotten way better really recently. So we're still in the process of putting those tools to work, which is great news. It's great news. Mike has to donate $10 if he forgets to whistle at next dev stream. Deal. 100% deal. Absolutely yes. I'll write a couple more notes here. Just whistle in big letters. Go on my magic cards over there. I ordered a bunch of cards, not that many, like 20 cards recently, that were just the weirdest cards and effects that I could find in the game. Just things that didn't exist anywhere else, things that I know my friends have never seen, just to mess with them so they're like, I don't know how to play around that card. It's gonna be fun. Nice, and if you choo-choo enough, I will donate. Sounds good. Will you... I'll choose you. Ooh, LP, was that one? LP Jolsting? Not bad. Maybe I'll hard switch to poison right now. Go Serpent Strike on Swarm Blade. That'd be cool if I just like re-rolled this character into that. Wish I'd found that last week and I did that this week because next week we're starting a new character. New patch, new character, right? I don't have to. Well, I'd like to, I think. I usually start a new character at the start of a patch. But I'm not going to start the campaign from scratch again. Because we didn't get very far through the monolith this patch because of that. Because I leveled all the way up. And I'm slow when it comes to leveling. And I want to have something that's ready to hop into arenas. Yeah, well, the new arenas, yeah. But also hop into all the new content in general. Maybe not immediately, but pretty quick. The new dungeons, the mechanics on them, I like. So the time travel mechanic in the Temporal Sanctum was like it's on theme. It's mechanically cool, especially in the boss fight. I think it's really interesting with the change of scenery that happens there. That whoever was asking about the Ruined Temple, that whole dungeon is half of it is hard themed like the Ruined Temple actually. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, but the new dungeons we've got, we made a bunch of new stuff, new mechanics, new systems to make things work, and it's a lot more interactive, which is really cool. I'm really excited about it. If you can't tell by the shit-eating grin on my face. You really want to play Warlock, and I hope he will be dope. Yeah, I I can't really say much about it, but once we get going on the Warlock, that one's gonna be good too. It's sort of a missing style, I think. With the reveal of the Bastion, with the Necrotic Fire theme, could this be a hint that the Warlock Mastery from the Acolyte will get Necrotic Fire theme? It's possible. The Warlock's still really early in development, guys. Like, yeah. Did I miss the final class release? No, you did not miss that. No info yet. I'm sorry. I do have a spoiler. Okay, if I die, I'll definitely reveal the spoiler. I don't think I'm gonna get to the boss. I can try and push for it. I'll rush the boss. If I kill the boss or die. I feel like it's just gonna be a lot of running though if I do that. It's the new spin-off show from, it's called Mostly Running. It's like mostly walking, but a little bit faster paced. Alright, Mike, remember, red indicator's good. Alright, red indicator's good. I'm on it, I'm on it. Here we go. What are the blue ones? Are those good too? This is a gigantic time waste. I don't know why I'm doing this. Run! Oh. That was a lot faster than I was expecting. Why did I move so fast there? Not complaining! This winter level, this level here, since I got to the end of time, how long till I can potentially play it? This looks amazing. So this is based, so you can actually see the in the top right corner, it shows Divine Era -12 BE. So you can this zone, you can, if you open the map, you can actually see where this is roughly. It's in the snowy area in the Divine Era, and you've got, if you just got to the end of time, you've got a ways before you get here in the campaign. You could try and rush it in the monolith if you wanted, which would be really tough, but technically possible. So I'd say you're over halfway to getting here, I think. I really like the winter areas too. Yeah, so that's Divine Era. It's up here in Hiboria. But you've got to go. Yeah, there's a ways to go before you can get up here. Missed a few side quests. Ooh. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna need to equip better gear, aren't I? I didn't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to. Level 55 to 58, we end the story naturally. It's not quite the end. There's stuff after that. There's all the stuff in Majalka. Oh my gosh. I'm talking about how I'm gonna have to like go faster to get to the end, to kill the boss faster. But you know what? We might have a spoiler pretty soon here. Oh my gosh. Not today, Ember Mage. No, Paddington, get back here. You have so much to live for. Oh, yes. Those Ember Mages are just pumping out the damage. Okay. I was not prepared for this, apparently. 14 waves. Oh, it does say how many waves. I'm just an idiot. Oh my goodness. I lost it. Paddington, stay with me! Oh my goodness! Oh. That was close. Serpentine, Mike. Serpentine, run. Serpentine, Babu. Okay, so is it cheating if I equip Kermod's Cage here? I have one already. Somewhere. I must have one. Right? Right? What am I doing here? I have 2 LP Kermod. Might not actually be helpful on its own. Keep it honest, see what happens. Okay. Are you currently working on future patches? Oh yeah. Always. We've got a there's a lot of people that work on like systems development that rarely like tooling development that rarely is work for the current patch that's coming out next, because they have to be ahead of the curve quite a bit. Art, same thing. There's a lot of art that has to be ahead of the curve. There's all sorts of stuff that has to be ahead of the wave, so to speak. And yeah, like even little things like we were last night we were talking about designing some unique items, and we got through one that I'm pretty pumped about actually, but it's we're reworking something else as well in the patch after this one coming up, like so in post 8.5, and we need to wait until that happens before we can make that unique item. So this sort of thing happens a fair bit where we'll be like, okay, we made this cool thing, but we have to wait until this other cool thing is done. Like reworking a model for something, we don't want to release something mechanically good for that thing when the model's really outdated and draw a bunch of attention to it, so everyone's playing it with the outdated model, and then we release the new model the next patch, and it doesn't really the mechanical incentive to play it is worn off. If that makes any sense. So that in particular is very rare and very specific to exactly what happened last night. But it's not impossible. Y'all stand your avalanche all day. All day. Okay, day's over. Alright. I'm curious, this is an in-house engine. Do you primarily code the game in C++? I'm a web dev, but this stuff's so beyond me, it's fascinating. This is actually built in Unity. And, I mean, we built tons of stuff in there. And we primarily use C#. We a little bit of stuff for other things, but almost all of it's C#. Saying Serpentine gave me Game of Thrones PTSD. If Rickon had simply had cut to the left, he would have lived. Yep. Well, you never know. He may they may have So I remember watching that scene and being yelling Serpentine at the TV as it was happening, and my wife was like, I mean, even if he lives, they'll just ride him down with cavalry, right? Or even if he makes it, they'll just ride him down anyways. Something like that, you know? And John doesn't have its incentive, and yada yada yada. Always the pessimist in Game of Thrones, yeah. I'm a fantasy TV and movie sucker, so any of them, I'm right there. Wheel of Time was fantastic. I never read any of it, so I took a little bit to get into it, but loved it. Rockstar has used 500 bits a game to cheer 500. You've been going crazy here. All sorts of cheers and subs and it's just all sorts of stuff. Thank you very much. Stupid question. Are all items that you get in-game all client-sided? So currently the game, apart from communicating with us to do login credentials and some stuff like ladders, things like that, it's entirely offline. So we don't save any of your files online. It's all offline. Wheel of Time pissed you off with all the changes to what's in the book? Yeah, see, this is the advantage of not reading it, is that you have no reference material, so you can just enjoy what's there, which I know, like, it makes me want to read it, though, because it was really good. I enjoyed it, at least. I did find the, they had these, like, little extra things of, like, little explanations, like, there were, like, 3-minute clips that explain something about the world, and I didn't find them until after I watched the series. I remember watching them all going like, oh my gosh, I should have watched these first. The first 2 episodes would have been way better. Because the first 2 episodes have a lot of the effect of, I know I'm kind of going off topic here, but I'll come back, I swear. They have this, and this is actually interesting. I'll tie this into game development stuff. So Skyrim does, like, Skyrim, overall, fantastic game. They make some of the cardinal sins of exposition and world building right in the opening seconds. Just like the things you're just not supposed to do. Where they're heavy name dropping. So like you're like, oh, you're finally awake, and then it's like name drop in Skyrim, and you're just like, I don't know who those people. I don't know the political tensions between Redania and like all these, like, it's what Redguard, yeah, I don't even know the names of them anymore, but I find when things do that a lot, it's frustrating, where we have no context. There's no, like, I don't know who the king of whatever is and why he cares that there's a person that looks like this that's doing something bad supposedly. Oh, did I get Witcher and sorry, Redania's Witcher, you're right. Love the Witcher series too. My goodness. My goodness. So good. Perrin doesn't get married until way later in the books? Interesting. Yeah, medium changes are really difficult, because there's... I think it's really interesting, so that, like, kind of going off topic. Well, I can bring this into game dev too. So there's different forms of entertainment media have different control over pacing. So... For example, if you have a movie compared to a TV show, compared to a book, compared to a video game, let's talk about those 4 things. With a TV show, you get these, like, TV show compared to movies is a really easy one, because you get these compartmentalized episodes that have their own small story arcs, and then one big overarching story arc. And this kind of happens in a similar sense when you have, like, large sagas of movies, like Star Wars, for example. But the pacing you get, you generally don't stop in the middle of a movie or in the middle of a TV show episode. But the TV show does intentionally cause you to stop in the middle of the story, because there are different episodes. So, like, you watch one episode, and then you move on to the next episode, but you may not. There might be like a day in between that. There might be 2 days in between that. But with a movie, you don't watch the first half, put it down, and watch the second half usually. With TV, traditional TV, there's generally an assumed, like if you're watching it as it's coming out, you're watching an episode a week, right? Usually, in most cases. And there's exceptions to all of this. But it controls that cadence of like, okay, once a week you're watching an episode, once a week you're watching an episode. And they design these TV shows with the time between episodes in mind heavily. That's why you get like mid-season finales where there's like a mid-season break and there's like a month between episodes, or there's like season finales and like really big things happen, and they change the pacing of the story based on when the break's going to be and how long you're without the content. And I think books and video games are really interesting in the sense that there's very little control over that pacing compared to those other forms of media. Because there's, like with a book, they do have chapters, and games do have chapters, and they kind of try and break things up similarly, so they try and do this. But I think there's a lot of times where people are, you can put a book down whenever. Like, you might be in the middle of something big happening, you just put the book down, right? And so there's this control over the pacing that's really not there in books and video games in a lot of cases too, that I think is really interesting. I don't really have some big insight to share on like how to do this better or anything, but random game design ramblings of the week brought to you by Mike's Weird Brain. Alright, I got a question here that I skipped over. I didn't mean to skip over, but I just was rambling. Was Last Epoch developed without netcode first? And then you guys went back to refactor it all with netcode. Yeah. The multiplayer update mentioned having 2 versions to maintain. It also says this will also become much easier once we're only developing the releasing Last Epoch as an online game. The sentence makes it seem like the offline will be gone. What that's more talking about is... for a very long time, we had 2 versions of the game that we were developing side by side. We were developing single player that we were releasing to everyone as patches were going along, and then we had multiplayer that they were basically separate. And every once in a while, we'd take everything that was in single player and we'd shove it into multiplayer, and we'd fix any conflicts that were happening and make it work again, and then keep going on both of them. And then a whole bunch of new stuff would get developed for single player, and we'd have to like shove it into multiplayer and fix a bunch of stuff that was happening there. And we were losing a lot of time in that shoving single player into multiplayer and fixing a bunch of stuff. We're losing a ton of time there. And now we've managed to merge those into one development. So when a multiplayer feature gets added, it actually gets added to the single player game too. And when a new feature gets added to the game, the single-player and multiplayer versions get created at the same time. That's what that's talking about. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, because there's a lot of differences. Like when you're playing in single player, there's no nice combo now leaks. Okay, fine. Jeez, I don't think we're gonna get to the end of the. I don't think we're gonna get to the boss today. I'm not gonna make it unless I just like ran through everything. And when I ramble, I don't play very fast. Apparently, I don't really remember what happened for the last like 10 minutes. Was I even doing anything in game? Was I just sitting there in place? I hope I was running and doing stuff. Ooh, we got an LP Hummingbird. How much? Just one. Just one. Yep, made sense. It's just that last sentence, the only developing as an online game, which the normal person means online only. Yeah, I get that. There's so many terms that are difficult to talk about, like so many like processes and things that are just tough to talk about, because like the terms that get used, like the development terms that get used for them, sometimes seem like they're very different things than they actually are, and sometimes we use terms internally that we know are not the terms that we use externally. I don't think this is the case here, but sometimes I've seen like people make posts, or and like this happened to me quite a few times, where like I'll respond to a post where someone will use the term we use developmentally, and I'll assume that's what they're talking about just because I'm half asleep or something. And I'll realize they were talking about something completely different. Oh, bad cut, Mike. Bad cut. I'm working on it, Lizard. I'm working on it, I swear. Could just die intentionally. Guys, 1 week. We are 1 week out of patch. It's always a little scary. We get to this point where we're 1 week out, and I'm always like, we're gonna make it. It's okay. We're gonna make it. I started an argument in a dev community when I suggested they rename their scripts to something else. Renaming scripts sometimes is totally fine and works great. Some not terrible stuff there. Should I try and craft on that? Okay, let's try and craft on it, see what we can get. Okay, we'll start off with a discovery. That's always when we start off, when we have a blank one. That's always how we start. Slow on hit. That's fine. That's not great. I don't think we want attack speed. I want some more damage in there. Chaos. Yeah. And then let's try to seal this. Oh, I just... Ugh. 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 Mike, way to ruin a good item, jeez. Oh, I said I was going to do a spoiler, didn't I? I did, didn't I? Okay. Where are we? I've got it here somewhere. Oh, you know what? I can't find it. Just jokes, folks. I can actually put this up and keep playing, can't I? Should probably look at what it is, actually. Is it the fire one? Yeah, it's the fire one. Yeah! There we go. It's peanut butter spoiler time. Peanut butter spoiler time. Go away. Yeah. I actually like that. Everyone just learned how old I am. Back when the internet was young. Oh yeah, I guess there's something in this one that's kind of obfuscated, isn't there? Oh. Just attacking. Look off screen while I attack. Familiar Gorgon of Rot. What did we learn today? Once trading becomes available, never entrust your items to Mike's hand to improve them. I thought we already knew that. Did we not? What is Dragonfire? It's a great question. I think we can figure out what Dragonfire is. Improve Mike meets brick. I just thought it would look really good on the floor there. You know, it would add to the ambiance. The feng shui of the room is much better now. And I didn't want it to feel bad being dropped with so much potential. So I just had to get that potential out of there. Just drain all of its potential. And then, you know, just put it exactly where it needed to be. Are there any implications here? Why does a rogue exclusive item have cast speed for fire skills? That's a great question. There's a few things that rogues cast. I'm pretty sure. There are no new skills, I can tell you that. Yeah, like smoke bomb, shift. Are those affected by cast speed or attack speed? I actually don't know. It's very this actually plays back into something that I was mentioning earlier. It's very rare, if ever, that we would really intentionally release an item like okay, so I guess the possible implications that we're talking about here is like, oh, is Falconer gonna have a bunch of spells? I think is sort of the underlying question there. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm assuming. You know, might make an ass out of myself, but whatever. It is it's not to indicate that, because we really don't want to put things in the game where we're like, okay, well, this item will be good once we specifically do this other thing that's a long way out, or like, oh, this item will even do anything, you know, once. If that makes any sense. We build them for the if that was the case, if we were like, okay, Falconer's gonna have a lot of spells, let's make this bow for Falconer, does cast speed on it, so it works well with that. We would wait till Falconer was out to release the bow, if that was like the main purpose of it. Or if the implication is that you're wondering is if it's the other thing, I guess, that could be part of that question is like, oh, is Mage getting a bow skill use? No. At least not right now. If that's what this was for, we would wait until we were also giving bow skill to Mage, which we're not right now, so not this. Personally, I think I'd be more interested in mages using a crossbow, which I know seems weird, maybe. Is that weird? Might be weird. I know that many RPG games take more of an approach to independent gameplay, especially with the industry focused on team-based gameplay. I've always been interested with games like Dota 2, especially when it comes to team-based synergies. Being very unique, Dota 2 is focused more on more unique buffs and debuffs that have a place at scrolling still with a game, hence why it's successful since 2004. What are you guys' thoughts on how new industry ecosystems on this new industry ecosystem? No offense, I don't think there's anything offensive in there at all, but Cool. I I I think that there's a lot of people who play a lot of different games, and even if there is a like a trend away from something like this that, you know, we might be seeing in really popular like metrics, so like really high spikes in gameplay for other games that have come out recently, or like really high Twitch viewerships for certain games. I don't think that I think it's really rare that a genre dies completely, and even if it's not increasing at the same rate of some others, it is definitely increasing still. And I think that's really important to be able to look at and like maintain the vision for the game. I don't know if I'm really explaining myself very well. I don't think I'd like to... I think trying to pivot really hard in a situation like that to like make something really specifically like that to change like core concepts of the game, I think it can be really dangerous for the game's development as a whole. I don't think it would be a smart move for us to try and pivot to something more like that. I could be very wrong for sure. Yeah. So Mage is getting a post skill later, gotcha. Don't say nothing was ever taken out of context. I mean, what? I don't know even anymore. I might just die here. Oh, I still have this on my screen. I'm gonna take this item down. Oh, nailed it. More? But I'm not done with these guys yet. Mage using a crossbow is your Neverwinter Nights time speaking. I have never played a Neverwinter Nights game. I know, terrible. Never did it. What was I playing when Neverwinter Nights was out originally? There's probably Guild Wars 1 overlap there. Probably a lot of Guild Wars 1 overlap. It's the same developers actually, isn't it? NCSoft? And ArenaNet? Man, I miss Guild Wars 1. That was like my first like hard PvP and like it's MMOE game that I really ever played. You're disappointed in my game knowledge? Neverwinter Nights was BioWare. Nah. What am I thinking? Because like I remember this is back in my day when video games came with pamphlets. I remember I bought Guild Wars, or I thought I was buying Guild Wars. I actually pre-ordered Guild Wars because I saw the like pre-order box at Future Shop for sale for like $10, and I'm like, I can afford that as like a little kid, and bought it. Not realizing that I was buying a pre-order that like gave me the rights to buy the rest of the game later or something like that. And I ended up having to like work really hard to like get enough money to like buy the rest of the game when it came out. Like I played in the pre-release for it or something, like early access type thing. It came with like a pamphlet of all the other games the company made. And I guess I was thinking Neverwinter Nights, but it was probably Lineage? Question mark? It is hot in here. Get some airflow. Turn the heat off. Sounds like a scam, to be honest. No, it's just a dumb kid. What? It clearly said on the box. Like, clearly said on the box. I'm just a dumb kid. What made you guys to interact with the community on Twitch? Not every dev team does that. Some games are more hidden development. Yeah, we've been... So we started streaming, actually, like, development of the game back in Kickstarter as, like, a way to, like, get more attention for Kickstarter campaign. And I was, like, I was streaming my, like, everything, like the code, setting up objects in Unity, like everything was just there, which was pretty cool. There weren't many people there. Shout out to anyone who saw that. I doubt any of you are here. That was a ton of fun, and like I don't know, we've been really public with our game development for a long time, and I think it's one of our biggest strengths. It helps with design, it helps with bug fixing stuff. It's like our community is a key element in our development process, and has been since the start, basically. Can I survive this? Looks like it. Alright. We're just gonna sit here with max berserk stacks. Do this every once in a while. I know at the end of the day, it should really be players determine the game's longevity. I've always had this problem with Riot Games' design decisions due to its discouraging team-based synergies in favor for more meta-focused independent campaign design. Champion design. Although this is going beyond the scope of your guys, not just ranting something that's really wrong. Yeah, I mean, I know I kind of went broad on the topic when I was answering, or like commenting on it. I think a lot, and okay, so it's sort of broad to me just rambling, but I think there's a lot of really great games that have been sustained long term by the community, and I think the most apt example of that is Diablo 2. All the mods that people made for it, and even just playing the official release version of it for over a decade, you know? Did I go the wrong way at some point? Oh, Mike, what have you done? It's just terrible, Mike. Come on. Gotta clean up your life here, bud. Any combat animation updates on the horizon? There are, I mean, so yeah, this is essentially there was a question about this recently on, I want to say, Discord. It didn't say combat animations, but it said like combat feel or something like that, and like the word any in there means I can very easily answer this question yes, but I don't think it's what you are actually asking. So for example, catalysts are getting reworked this patch. Every single animation that has a catalyst in it in any way, shape, or form, so that is like catalyst with a sword in your main hand, a wand in your main hand, an axe in your main hand, a mace, like all of those for every single different attack, for every single different class, have all been updated. So yes, there are lots of combat animations that have been updated. If there's like a specific one you're wondering about, or if you're wondering about like an across the board type thing, or a specific like type of animation, probably not, but maybe, because we've been spending a lot of time doing the animations for catalyst updates. Love the new dungeon mechanic. Said something new. Flame award VFX. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, as I said earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were here. I saw someone. It was you. I saw someone on the stream on the tease reveal say, "Oh, new flame award VFX." I'm like, not quite. Did I lose Paddington? Oh no, Paddington. I'm so sorry, buddy. Yay, we finished hide scan. What? Oops, botched that one. I think it's this way. Stairs. Charge on stairs. Oh yeah, that's the other thing Judd just brought up. So our main weakness is we care too much. Yeah. So sometimes I think that might be true. No, we saying hit VFX animations. So a lot of times I also and this is just ties back into what I was saying earlier about people using development terms, and I assume that they're meaning the development term. So this maelstrom effect that's swirling around me, and this like the shout when that comes out, this maelstrom effect that's swirling around me, and the like those orange swipes, those orange claw swipes that come out, quite frequently, people will refer to those as animations, and in a sense they kind of are, but in a development sense, like when we're talking about the game, when we're working on it. No one would call those animations on the team, because animations are specifically the the way that the character models are manipulated over time given a specific action. So it's the bears. So in Swipe, it's really easy to distinguish between the VFX and the animation. So the animation is the bear like rotating their shoulders and swiping across with their arm, whereas the animation is those big orange claws that come out, and those are very distinct and different things. So if you were asking about VFX instead of animation, I have a different answer for you. And we also got concept art when. Nice. We do a lot of concept art reveals here, so if that is cool. Has tipped $25. Looking at you, Judd. Concept art when. I don't have any big concept art for you right now. It's I guess I was a little greedy on the lead up to patch, taking all the stuff I could get. So, Kinos 1, were you talking about VFX or animations? So animations being like when the character moves like that, that like, I guess the sound is you just adding that, because you can't swing your arms like that in a swipe motion without going Give it a try right now, you'll do it. Where am I going? Slay enemies! I meant in terms of combat, more of weight and impact. So neither, really. I guess. I don't really know what you mean then. Or maybe both, because we do try and like both those things contribute to it. Either, neither, or both. Can confirm physically impossible to not roar when making slight movements. Thank you. What are your personal highlights and lowlights, if there are any, in Last Epoch this far? Oh man. I'll start with a low light, just because I know what it is off the top of my head. The point that I was the most, like, I guess, in my own head about what was going on and afraid for the future of it and all those sorts of things, and like was down in the dumps personally, was like the third week of Kickstarter. It was a long time ago. I'm fortunate and pleased that I can say that the low point for this was that like 4 years ago now, 3 years ago now, and nothing's even come close since then. Kickstarter was the hardest thing. It was like, I don't think we had a single person who was like paid at that point. It was all just like garage development. Evenings, weekends, all of us had real jobs, and it was the campaign was looking dire. Let's put it that way. We came up to a good start, and there was a big slump, and it was not looking great. And there was a little bit of panic of like, is this gonna happen? Are we gonna have to like figure out another way to do this? Luckily, everything was fine. And it was a lot of work. Like that month, everyone was just all day, every day. I hardly saw family. Friends were like, "Did you go on a holiday, Mike? Like, did you just come back from somewhere after that ended?" Type thing. So that was tough. And highlight for me, the highlights, I think overall, there's been a lot of them that have been really great. So it's hard to pick out one thing as like the number one. But some of my favorite parts have been like going to conventions and going to meet up with other people in the team, because these people that you work with every day, you talk to them every day. Yeah, Kickstarter's brutal. There we go. But like getting to actually see in person and meet these people that like you're like really good friends. Like some of my best friends, I would say, are people that I've never actually met, which is cool, I think. But yeah, like getting to go to conventions and meet people that like you come from very different backgrounds in some cases, and I don't know, it's just really cool to like talk to these people and when you're not like at work. I know we like hang out and play games with each other outside of work hours or whatever, and also like we're just making a video game together, so it's a lot of fun stuff anyways. But like, I don't know, yeah, the conventions were a ton of fun. I really hope they come back soon. Let's do more of those. Highlights for sure. Yeah. Done. Like 5 or 6 meetups now, I think, that I've been to. A couple people have just come to town and been like, "I'm where you live, Mike. Want to go get a beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that. Sounds great." Multiplayer release is going to be on that list. It might be. Multiplayer release could go on either one of those lists, probably. You know? Depending on how it goes, it might go on both of those lists. Releasing on Steam and outselling Mortal Kombat 6, getting to talk with David Brevik, a Rogue release, reaching top selling spots on Steam are all highlights. Yeah, those are all fantastic. Like, there's so many things like that. Yeah, the people we've managed to get on Discord calls with are like people that I never would, like in a million years, never would have expected to be like in a room, you know, so to speak, with these people that are like that I've looked up to for forever. And yeah, oh, that was really cool. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, I'm just trying to clear up some of these ads here, because now I can possibly just sit here and not tank this because I'll die, but maybe. A mark for death hurts. just to clarify what my point is, the LoL community discovered a new strategy within the game i.e. Janus Might Top, due to Riot's strict role framework for their characters. When Riot discovered this activity within their highest level of play, they nerfed it to the ground. If you look at Dota, Apex Legends, or Quake, most common techniques of those games were usually found by accident, although this is just my perspective. I just hope Riot's design team changes for the better. I see what you're saying, yeah. There have been a few. Okay, so I understand what you're talking about more now. I definitely missed the point. I'm sorry, wasn't intentional. But we've had a few times where some strategies have emerged that we didn't really expect, or things that we like. Like a good example of this is EQ Werebear. I can't remember the name of the item. It's just called EQ Werebear. And we knew, when we made the item, we knew it was possible. We tried it. We knew it was good. We didn't think it would be quite as ubiquitous as it was. And it got, some people in the community found some things, I think, that we didn't really expect to be quite as out there as they were. Because, together, all of you playing discover things all the time that we didn't expect. Usually they're things that we're like, I bet someone will figure out something kind of like this, or we'll put something in the game and we'll be like, I bet someone's going to find something in this general style to play with it. But very frequently things come out that we're just like, did not see that coming. Whoops. And when that happens, especially if people really like it, we try really hard to keep it in the game, but keep it and just bring it in line with other things, if that makes any sense. So EQ Werebear we knew it was going to happen. We didn't think it would happen that big at all. And we've nerfed it 8 times since then. But we're trying to just when something goes up too high, we try and bring it down to where the other things that are also really good are, not below those things, if we can. And we've been pretty successful with that, I think. It's not always perfect. Doesn't always work. Sometimes we're too heavy-handed. Sometimes we're not heavy-handed enough. It's all the things we're learning when we're going through early access, and I know it can be, just in general, I know it can be a little frustrating sometimes if those nerfs or buffs don't quite go the way you'd hope them to go. But I think we've gotten a lot better at it over the years. I always want to go up those stairs. Every single time. Charges so much faster with haste. I love it. Love it. Y'all deserve it. Thank you. Gonna be some long days on the release week, yeah. Oh, I have no doubt that there will be multiplayer release and 1.0 release. Send the family, go stay with the in-laws for a few days, or go get one of my camping pads and roll that out in the office and sleep under my desk for a few hours a night. I could see that happening on those days. Right when it gets real bad, or real good, but there's a lot to happen. I'm ready for it. It's tough and it's stressful and it's a lot of work and all that sort of stuff, but it's also I don't know, it's really cool to be working on something like this, to be creating something that you love, and yeah. It's really neat. I like it. A lot of really big upsides. Biggest of all, really, is just whenever I see a forum post or someone comes in here or something, and they're just like, "I had fun playing your game," and that's it. It's just I just had fun playing your game. What it's all about. That Mortal Kombat tidbit. So I will say the Mortal Kombat thing. I don't know if that includes. I don't think that's Steam sales. That's just the Steam sales. We outsold Mortal Kombat on Steam. We may have outsold them all together. I'm not sure, but it was really cool. We're like, this is a AAA title, and we're above them on the list. So that was really neat. Let's back this way. Did I miss something? Is this right beside me? Anyways, love the stream. Hope you guys have a good day and a good life. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are right at the end of the stream here. I'm just going to finish this. Whatchamacallit? Whatever this thing's called. Echo. This thing I'm doing in our game that we play and make. You know. That's why I stick to enterprise software to have no sleep bags in the office necessary. I mean, to be fair, like, my bed is, like, there. So, not that far to go. I was joking about actually getting a mat under the table. Wouldn't bother. Alright. That was a great stream. I feel great about that. I had a ton of fun. I hope you did too. I'll be here again next week, same time, same place. You've all been lovely. Cheers, Mike and Judd, the rest of the HG crew. See ya on Patch Day. We'll be back with Patch Day 1 week from today. Keep an eye out on our forums every day. We got tons of new stuff coming at you all through the weekend. Lots of great stuff. Oh, I was gonna, yeah, okay. I was gonna like look at the Soulfire Battery stuff more, but we can. If you got any questions, leave them over on Discord or the forum, and we'll try and answer as many of them as we can.